Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into one of the most misunderstood aspects of relationships, the hidden psychology of women and love. Most men grow up believing that women fall for the most likable, most prosperous, or most attractive guy. But what if everything you thought you knew about love was wrong? The truth is that women don't love men in the way that men expect. Love, for women, isn't based on logic, status, or even appearances. It's rooted in emotion. A man can have everything on paper, success, looks, a great personality, but if he fails to spark profound emotional experiences, he becomes forgettable. Understanding female psychology isn't about playing games or manipulation. It's about recognizing how attraction truly works and why certain men leave a lasting impact while others are easily overlooked. In this video, we'll break down the 5 core principles that shape a woman's experience of love and attraction. By the end, you'll understand why chasing a woman often backfires, why being a nice guy isn't enough, and what keeps a woman interested in the long run. Stay tuned until the end, because this insight will completely shift how you see relationships. Let's get started. Sign 1. Women don't love you. They love how you make them feel. Women do not fall in love with a man simply because of his looks, wealth, or personality. What truly captivates them is the emotional experience he creates, the way he makes them feel in his presence. Love, for women, is not a rational construct built on checklists and calculations. It is an unpredictable storm of emotions, a surge of excitement, warmth, and intensity that makes them feel alive. This is why 2 men can approach the same woman, yet one is instantly forgettable while the other lingers in her mind for years. A man who presents himself as perfect, stable, responsible, accomplished, may seem ideal, but if he fails to stir her emotions, he remains just another face in the crowd. In contrast, a man who knows how to tease her, challenge her, and ignite curiosity will leave a lasting imprint. Even if he is far from perfect, it is not logic, but the emotional impact determining a woman's attraction. Many men believe showcasing their achievements, status, or devotion will win a woman's heart. They approach relationships as if attraction follows a structured formula, assuming that love will naturally follow if they check all the right boxes. However, attraction does not work like a business transaction. It thrives on unpredictability, tension, and the thrill of uncertainty. A woman does not fall for a man because he provides stability alone. She falls for him because he brings a sense of adventure, makes her heart race, and keeps her guessing about what comes next. This is why the most unforgettable men master the art of emotional imprinting. They know how to create excitement through playful teasing, build anticipation through mystery, and foster a deep connection through shared experiences. They do not seek to impress through logic. They engage her emotions in a way that she cannot ignore. The result is a bond that feels less like a calculated decision and more like an irresistible pull, an experience so powerful that she cannot help but be drawn back to it. For men who want to understand how to attract a woman, the answer does not lie in presenting a perfect image or proving worth through accomplishments. It lies in the ability to make her feel something real, something unpredictable, something that awakens her deepest emotions. That is what she truly falls in love with, not the man himself, but how he makes her feel when she is with him. Sign 2. The more you chase, the less she feels. Attraction is not built through relentless pursuit. It thrives in anticipation, uncertainty, and emotional tension. Many men think that if they just try harder, text more, call more, prove their devotion, a woman will naturally feel more connected to them. But the truth is, attraction doesn't work that way. Women are wired to desire what they think they might lose, not what is handed to them without effort. When a woman knows with absolute certainty that she always has your full attention, the natural sense of excitement begins to fade. It's not because she is ungrateful or disinterested, but because human nature dictates that we value things based on scarcity. A man who is too available, always responding instantly, always eager to please, sends the unspoken message that his time and attention require no effort to earn. When something is readily accessible, it loses its appeal, and when the attraction fades, the relationship dynamic shifts in a way that no amount of chasing can repair. The common mistake many men make is thinking they can rekindle her interest if they do more. They bombard her with messages, agree to her every request, and make themselves predictable to keep her close. Ironically, this only pushes her further away. She no longer has to wonder about him, think about him, or feel any sense of urgency to reciprocate. He's already given himself away completely. And the moment that happens, the spark begins to dim. The men maintaining long-term attraction understand the balance between presence and absence, interest and mystery. Instead of chasing, they lead. They set the tone of the interaction rather than constantly reacting. They maintain their sense of purpose and direction rather than centering their world around a woman's approval. The key is unpredictability, not in a manipulative way, but in a way that engages the emotional landscape. A woman should never feel that she has figured you out entirely. Her emotional investment deepens when she is left wondering, when she has to put in effort to keep your attention. She starts to value your presence because she understands, even subconsciously, that it is not guaranteed. Attraction is not about overwhelming a woman with attention, but creating space for her to desire you in return. It is not about proving your worth to her, but demonstrating that you value yourself enough not to beg for her affection. The moment you stop chasing, you allow her to step forward, and when she does, it is not out of obligation, but out of genuine desire, something no amount of pursuit can ever replace. Sign 3. Women don't want a nice guy, they want an unshakable man. Many men grow up believing that the key to a woman's heart is simple: be nice, be considerate, and always put her needs above all else. They are taught that being agreeable and avoiding conflict will make them the perfect partner. But time and time again, these same men find themselves overlooked, stuck in the friend zone, or watching as the women they adore chase after men who seem to be their complete opposites. Men who don't hesitate to assert themselves, who stand firm in their beliefs, and who never seek approval. This isn't a coincidence. Women say they want a nice guy, and on the surface they do. They appreciate kindness, warmth, and a man who treats them well. But there is an unspoken truth behind their desires. What they genuinely crave isn't just kindness, it's strength. A man who lacks the courage to stand his ground, bends backward to accommodate her every whim, or fears upsetting her, will inevitably lose her respect. When a woman senses that a man is driven by the fear of losing her rather than by his values and purpose, she loses attraction. This is because women, whether consciously or subconsciously, test for strength. They challenge men in ways that reveal their emotional stability, leadership, and confidence. These tests aren't always obvious. Sometimes they disagree when she challenges his opinion to see if he stands by it. Other times they show up more subtly, observing how he handles stress, whether he remains calm under pressure or seeks validation through excessive compliments and reassurance. A man who remains composed and unshaken, who listens but does not waver in his convictions, commands respect. A man who crumbles at the first sign of resistance does not. Where most men fail is in mistaking niceness for attraction. They believe that if they say yes to everything she wants, avoid confrontation, and never challenge her, she will love them more. They assume that making her life easy will earn her admiration. In reality, it does the opposite. Women do not admire men who fear conflict. They admire men who handle it gracefully and a man who stands up for himself and values his time and priorities is far more attractive than one who sacrifices his self-respect to keep the peace. The solution isn't to become cold or indifferent. The strongest men are not rude or dismissive, but they are firm. They know how to set boundaries, express their opinions confidently, and are willing to walk away when necessary. A woman may push against his limits, but if she senses that he will never compromise his self-respect, she will trust and admire him more. She does not want a man who begs for her approval. She wants a man who already has his own. A beautiful man leads not in a controlling or domineering way, but through quiet confidence. He makes decisions with certainty, faces challenges without fear, and never allows external opinions to dictate his sense of self-worth. Women do not fall for men who try to please them at all costs. They fall for men who stand firm in who they are, who inspire admiration by refusing to be anything less than unshakable. Sign 4. Love is a game of perception, not reality. A woman does not fall in love with the man standing before her. She falls in love with the image of him that exists in her mind. The emotions she feels, the attraction she experiences, and the depth of her connection are all built upon the story she tells herself about who he is. This is why two women can look at the same man and have entirely different reactions. One might see him as confident and charismatic, while the other perceives him as arrogant and uninteresting. It is not about who he is, but how she perceives him. Attraction is not just about reality, it is shaped by narrative. If a man carries himself with a sense of mystery, allowing a woman to discover him piece by piece, she is drawn in. She begins to imagine layers of his personality, qualities that may or may not even exist, but that intrigue her nonetheless. On the other hand, if he presents himself too openly, revealing everything without leaving any space for curiosity, he becomes predictable. Predictability, while comfortable, does not create excitement. It breeds familiarity, and familiarity often dulls attraction. This is where most men go wrong. They assume that by simply being themselves, a woman will naturally appreciate their qualities. They fail to recognize that attraction is not a passive process, but an experience shaped by how they present themselves. When a man allows a woman to define his image without intention, he becomes another face in the crowd. When he is too available, eager, and transparent, he removes the element that makes a woman's heart race, the unknown. She does not crave certainty, she craves the thrill of discovery. The men who sustain long-term attraction understand this dynamic. They are unpredictable in a way that keeps a woman engaged. They do not follow a pattern that she can anticipate. Instead, they keep her wondering what comes next. This does not mean playing manipulative games, but cultivating a sense of adventure in the relationship, introducing new experiences, maintaining independence, and never allowing the connection to become stagnant. Women need emotional highs and lows to remain deeply invested. Too much comfort alone does not sustain passion. While security is essential, it must be balanced with excitement. The best relationships are those where a woman feels safe and exhilarated and knows she is valued, but never wholly figures out the man she is with. Scarcity also plays a critical role. A man who freely gives all of his time and attention without requiring effort from a woman loses value in her eyes. When something is easily obtained, it is quickly taken for granted. However, when a man makes her earn his time, by prioritizing his own life, maintaining his interests, and not being instantly available, she appreciates him more. She sees him as someone with purpose and ambition, not someone waiting for her validation. Ultimately, love is not about who you are in the absolute sense, but about how a woman experiences you. The moment her perception shifts, her feelings can change instantly, even if you remain the same. Understanding this differentiates between a man who passively hopes for attraction and actively cultivates it. Sign 5. If she feels safe, she'll never leave. A woman's emotions shift like the tides, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, often unpredictable. But beneath these changing waves lies a deep, unspoken desire, the need for emotional security. Unlike men who usually seek excitement, challenge, or conquest in relationships, a woman ultimately stays with the man who makes her feel safe, physically and emotionally. When a man provides this stability, he becomes irreplaceable. Many men misunderstand this fundamental truth. They believe that grand romantic gestures or thrilling adventures will keep a woman by their side. Yet these things alone are insufficient. Excitement fades, passion ebbs and flows. What remains is the foundation of the relationship, the sense of security she feels when she is with you. A woman may be drawn to a man who excites her, but she will stay with the man who makes her feel safe in her most vulnerable moments. A woman's emotions move in cycles. One day she may overflow with affection, showering you warmth and attention. The next, she may seem distant, withdrawn, or even irritable. This is not a sign that something is wrong. It is simply how feminine energy operates. The mistake most men make is reacting emotionally to these shifts, trying to fix her mood, or worse, taking it personally. When a man allows her emotions to dictate his own, he loses the very thing she needs from him, his steady. Women don't need men to solve their emotional fluctuations. They need men who can hold steady when they feel overwhelmed. If she's upset, she doesn't want a man who panics or rushes to find a solution. She wants a man who listens, acknowledges her feelings without judgment, and reassures her through his presence alone. She must feel that you remain unshaken, no matter how turbulent her emotions become, that you are the rock in the storm. The men who fail at this often do so in two ways. Some try to rationalize her emotions away, offering logical solutions when all she wants is to be understood. Others become defensive, taking her emotional shifts as a personal attack and reacting with frustration. Both approaches push her away. The men who succeed, on the other hand, understand that her emotions are like passing storms. They come and go. They do not fear the rain. They do not get swept up in the wind. They simply remain present, offering quiet strength rather than desperate reassurance. This is why a woman will never leave a man who makes her feel emotionally secure. If she knows that no matter what happens you will not crumble under pressure, she will trust you in a way she does not trust other men. She will feel safe enough to be vulnerable and share her fears, insecurities, and dreams. And once she experiences that level of safety, she will never seek it elsewhere. Emotional security does not mean suppressing your emotions or becoming cold and detached. It means controlling your reactions, maintaining composure in the face of chaos, and showing her through consistent actions that she can rely on you. It is in the quiet moments, the way you hold her when she's overwhelmed, the way you listen when she's anxious, the way you remain calm when she is not, that she realizes you are different from other men. A man who understands this does not need to chase a woman or convince her to stay. She stays because she feels something with him that she does not feel anywhere else. And in a world where so many men are reactive, insecure, or emotionally volatile, the man who offers proper stability becomes the one she cannot walk away from. Attraction is not built on logic. It's an emotional experience shaped by perception, anticipation, and a deep sense of security. Women don't fall in love with a man simply because he is friendly, successful, or physically attractive. Instead, they fall for the way he makes them feel. A man who understands this doesn't waste time chasing or trying to prove his worth. He knows that his value isn't in constant availability or validation. It's in his ability to create an emotional journey that keeps her engaged. Too many men believe that if they give enough, prove enough, or stay consistent, a woman will love them for who they are. But love for women is not about logical decision-making, it's about emotional imprinting. The strongest emotions, the most profound experiences, and the most unpredictable moments make a man unforgettable. This is why chasing kills attraction. When a woman knows she fully has you, she stops feeling the excitement of pursuit. Her mind wanders, searching for something new, uncertain, that reawakens her emotions. That's why strength will always be more attractive than niceness. A man who is too agreeable, eager to please, and unpredictable unknowingly lowers his value. Women naturally test for strength, not to manipulate but to seek reassurance that the man they are with is emotionally resilient. If you fold under pressure, compromise your boundaries, and let her moods dictate your behavior, she will subconsciously lose respect for you. On the other hand, a man who stands firm, who remains calm and collected no matter what, earns a woman's deep and lasting admiration. It's also important to remember that perception shapes attraction. A woman doesn't just fall for who you are, she falls for the version of you that she believes in. If you let her create a narrative where you are predictable and readily available, she will see you as ordinary. But if you craft a story filled with intrigue, emotional highs and lows, and a sense of controlled unpredictability, she will be drawn to you in ways she doesn't fully understand. And finally, proper security is what makes a woman stay. While excitement creates attraction, emotional stability creates commitment. Women experience emotions in waves. One moment they're deeply connected, the next they feel distant. This isn't because they are unreliable, it's simply how they process emotions. A man who panics, tries to fix her feelings, or reacts emotionally to her fluctuations will come across as weak. But a man who remains unshaken, who stays steady no matter what, becomes an anchor in her life, someone she can trust beyond fleeting emotions. So, what's the real lesson here? Stop chasing and start leading. Stop trying to convince a woman to love you, and instead focus on becoming a man who naturally commands respect and admiration. Women love the emotions you create, not just your achievements or personality. Attraction isn't about proving your worth, it's about being a man who stands firm. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you noticed these patterns in your relationships? What experiences have taught you the most about attraction and emotional dynamics? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more insights on relationships, self-improvement, and the psychology of attraction. Stay sharp, stay strong, and always keep them wondering. See you in the next one.